Coralee Zueff, and this is my story through the automotive industry. Now, my story is kind of like Goldilocks in the Three Bears, where it took me trying out a couple of different positions before I found the one that was just right for me. Like many people in the automotive industry, I didn't have a lifelong goal to go into it. I rather wound up here by accident. I was finishing my last year of high school and I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. I was thinking about going into law, and then one day when I was leaving the school, there was a poster on the door, and it was for the Automotive Technician Foundations program. And something in me clicked. I was like, I should take this. And even if I don't wind up being an automotive technician, I will still gain a ton of practical knowledge as I was already a car enthusiast. Fast forward to September and I began the 10-month program. In the morning, there was theory where we sat in the classroom and learned all about vehicle systems. And then in the afternoon, we went into the shop and had lots of hands-on experience and training. Now, this is kind of like where the porridge is too hot, or should we say too cold. In the shop, it was kind of cold and damp, and the job is physically challenging. Plus, I really miss talking to people. So right after I was done with that program, I did a complete 180 and went into automotive sales. I found a dealership that was fantastic and I had some great mentors along the way. I also really enjoyed helping people find a vehicle that fit with their budget and had the features that they needed. However, now the porridge is too hot. So when I'm talking to people about their vehicle that they're potentially thinking about purchasing, I'd point out things like the tire size and how easy they are to change, or looking under the hood and pointing out where things are, like topping up the washer fluid, checking your coolant, brake fluid reservoir, where your belts are, how easily accessible things are. And let's face it, at the time of purchase, customers were not that interested in hearing about the maintenance schedule and how easily their vehicle was to maintain. So I had to find a better fit. Next, it takes me to an ad for a parts person at a Canadian Tire. And this is kind of where I found my sweet spot, or the perfect fit. I really enjoyed when people would come in, plunk a random part down on my counter, and they wouldn't even know the name for it. I'd look at the year, make, model, or their VIN, run to the back, find them the exact part, and hand it over to them. And everybody was super happy. Next, the parts and service manager realized that I was enjoying this position and excelling in it. So he suggested I move over as a service advisor. So I was able to use all my skills, from my technical knowledge and training that I had to my sales skills and explaining things to customers in a way that they would understand. And this was the perfect fit for me. And I stayed there for many years and made lots of friends in the industry. However, as time goes on, my husband and I realized it was time for us to start a family. So at this stage in life, I took a step back from the automotive industry and took some time off to have our two beautiful daughters. At this time, I also realized that the parts technician is a Red Seal certification here in Canada. So while I was at home with my daughters, I was able to gather all the hours and experience I had in the industry, send that to Skilled Trades BC, in which case they sent an exam for me to challenge, and I passed with over 80% first try. Now, getting back into the workforce was a wee bit challenging for me. I hadn't been working for 6 years and was having a hard time finding a shop or a dealership or a chain that would want to take me on again. But at last I found an independent shop where I was able to be hired and to grow to a position of service manager. Basically, I did everything but fix the cars. Although sometimes if somebody needed a really tiny hand to get into a small fit or to hold something, or they needed a foot to do a brake fluid flush or a clutch bleed as well. So I guess I did everything. One of the questions people would ask me during interviews is, what do you do when you get a upset customer? And this was kind of puzzling to me. I was like, upset customer? What are they upset about? and they give me a couple of examples, and I'd be like, upset customers. I very rarely experience upset customers, because if somebody's upset, it's because I've screwed something up in the process. If they don't know that their vehicle is delayed, it's because I didn't communicate with them. If the bill is too high, it's because I didn't ask their permission, or I didn't let them know what was going on with the vehicle and with the price and why it costs more. Or not only do I work in automotive, I also play in automotive. When I'm not talking shop, I can often be found at one of our local racetracks autocrossing my Volkswagen Golf R. And if you don't know what that is, it's a cone obstacle course that everyone drives their car through as quickly as possible without hitting cones. During COVID, this really got me thinking that there wasn't a whole lot of training and resources available for automotive service advisors. There is a ton of stuff and certifications and governing bodies for technicians here in Canada, as well as parts people. And then sales and leasing consultants also need to be licensed. However, service advisors need the automotive knowledge as well as the sales training, and there really wasn't any resources available for us at that time. So during COVID, I spent my time to put all of my experience and knowledge into my book, 5-Star Service Advisor, which has been an Amazon bestseller now for the past 3.5 years and counting in multiple different countries. I've grown to providing training online as well as in person to service advisors in dealerships, in chains, as well as independent shops. I find it's very important for service advisors, rather than focusing on selling things to the customer, is to educate them on why they need that and give them options so that they can choose the option that best suits their budget and their vehicle. From my years at the independents and the chains, I've gained insight to why customers no longer want to return to the dealership for servicing and repairs. So I have specialized knowledge into helping dealerships maintain their customers for life. Now, if you're interested in hearing more about the 5-Star Service Advisor program, I have 3 different options for you. The first one is going to Amazon and purchasing a copy of the 5-Star Service Advisor book. The second one is signing up for my online service advisor training program. The third option is booking a free consultation call with me, where we can discuss what's going on in your dealership and see if a coaching program is right for you.